see, let me go over here and take care of this. Yeah, got it. Okay. Put my glasses on here because that'll make my life. Hey there, Tanika. Hey, hey. Eslin, hello. Oslin, hi. Okay, so I am live. Like I said, I will be. And it's been a while. I realized that it's been a couple of weeks at least. And it's only because I've been really, really busy. All kinds of stuff has been going on. And sometimes it just happens that way. All kinds of things going on in my life. I've traveled. I don't know if I spoke to you before since I got back. But over the last week or so, I've got some messages from several people about, one of them was really, really, well, two of them were really, really interesting. Described me as a warrior. And one said, I really want to be a warrior like you. And I thought, that's an interesting term, especially for women. A term that I like, by the way. Yes, a term that I really, really like. But I'm not quite sure that it really conveys. I'm not quite sure how some people use it sometimes. And I know that it's a term that many women have difficulty with. And lots of people have difficulty with when it comes to women. And so just today, actually, I got a message from someone who spoke about, who just reached out to me to talk about the warrior energy that that she sees around me. And so I thought today was I announced this yesterday, but today just kind of confirmed it would be a really good time to speak about this because, like I said, I like the idea of a warrior. And I accept that for me because my work is a lot about supporting women and girls through struggle, out of the challenges. Let me put my glasses on and fix this thing here. Okay. Hello. So much of my work has been about helping women and girls to find their strength and their inner power to get themselves through some of the most difficult, painful, challenging situations, environments, circumstances that and I'm proud of a lot of the work that I've done. Of course, there were times when it didn't succeed. I lost some, as it goes. I lost some. You win some, you lose some. I hate the losing part, but I accept that that's part of life. And so anyway, I thought I'd jump on today and do this really short. It won't be very long, but I just wanted to lay out for you, just kind of share with you some of the things that I think are important and why it is okay and sometimes absolutely necessary to be a warrior in your own life. The post I put out yesterday announcing this, I showed my cat. I have a cat named Olga. Olga came to me when I was living in Phoenix, but I still live in Phoenix, in Arizona. And it's just a little while after my father had died. And my husband was traveling. I was home alone most of the time. And this cat just kind of showed up one day. And the cat was scrawny and hungry. Obviously, the cat had no home. I saw the cat crawl into a space outside in my backyard. And I thought, okay, so I put some milk out for it. And a couple of days, he didn't touch it. And I've subsequently learned, by the way, that you're not supposed to give milk to cats. We'll talk about that maybe. But anyway, I put some milk out for her. Turns out it was a her. And I didn't see her for a while. And then one day she showed up. And she was wounded. Her head was busted open. One of her left hind leg was hanging. There's a big gash in it. Obviously, I got in a fight. I just thought I got in a fight with a dog or a fence, but she wouldn't let me near her. And I was also a little bit afraid because it was a cat I did not know. But she stayed around the yard and she drank the milk. And after a few days, maybe about 2 or 3 days, she actually let me stand next to her. And so eventually I was able to pick her up and take her to the vet. And the vet checked her out, stitched up some part of her leg, and let her come back home with me. And she went right back outside. And then she stayed. And so I got Olga. And then when I came back to the Caribbean some years ago, I brought her with me. The Caribbean is very different to Arizona. And I watched this cat in a strange place, completely different. Arizona is desert. There are trees, yes, but they're not palm trees that wave. At least not, there are palm trees, but it's not like the Caribbean. You're full of coconut leaves and all kinds of lush green stuff that just blows in the wind all the time and makes endless noise. And she certainly was not used to walking on wet grass, but she did. She learned. And I watched Olga over a period of months find her way, make her way. And one of the interesting things about her, which is to do with cats, obviously, a characteristic of cats, obviously, is that she didn't ask for help. She didn't look for help. She just did it on her own when she was good and ready. It turns out she got good and ready really quickly. And that's kind of the thing that we're talking about here today with women. Obviously, there are lots of times when we really ought to ask for help. And some of us have difficulty doing that. And that's another discussion for another time. But self-reliance is a really important thing for women. Because so often, women are held in positions, or women are viewed as these weak, dependent creatures who must be helped and supported by others. And too often, that help and support comes at a price that it bothers me that women have to pay. And so my advice to women always is find your strength. Do what Olga did. Figure it out on your own as best you can, which includes figuring out how to ask for help, who to ask for help, and what to give in exchange. Because that's how life is. And many, many things we have to do with other people we can't do alone. Or in any case, it's easier or much more fun with other people. And the ability to ask for help is a vulnerability. Some people see it as a weakness. It also is a necessity. And sometimes being strong, being the warrior, is knowing who to ask for help and how to ask for help so that you can figure it out on your own. The trick is to not sell your soul in the process. The challenge is to not end up in a situation where you're paying and paying and paying and paying. And that, my sisters, requires an inner power, an inner resilience, an acknowledgement, comfort with self that gets developed over time. It gets developed over time by saying, no, I don't think so. And saying yes, and here is how it's going to work. And I say this not just for personal relationships, even with relationships at work. One of the things about training women, when I train women for work, a professional level, one of the things I've always come across is, of course, women's diffidence when it comes to acknowledging their professional power, negotiating, activating, just asking for a raise, asking for a promotion, asking for acknowledgement of the good work that they do. All of that, the ability to do that comes from inside, and it comes from experience. It comes through making a decision at some point, to acknowledge, to recognize worth and value and capability. When you're aware, when you know your capabilities, when you know that when you know that you are good at this, that, or the other, when you know your value, the other things become easier. So all of these things I've talked about, acknowledging when you need help, not always asking for help when you need it, knowing who to ask and how and what to give in exchange is so much easier when you're aware, when you're confident, when you know your capabilities. Cats don't care They know they're beautiful, gorgeous animals. They know that. And they use that against us, I believe. But it's the same thing with women. And I'm joking, but that's not really. It's about literally recognizing that I can do this on my own, or at the very least, I can do it without you. I could actually find somebody else to do it with, or somebody else to do it for me, or I can be in another place. I can be fine. There's an old saying I hear Americans use a lot. It's better to be alone than to be in bad company. I hear Europeans use it. I hear Africans use it. Everybody knows it, right? It's better to be alone than to be in bad company. And when we know our worth, we know what bad company is. And so we don't rely on bad company to make us feel good. We don't rely on bad company to help us with our work. We don't rely on bad company to live. We have so much confidence in ourselves, our worth, our value, that we are able to tell bad company, see ya, bye-bye. Now, I did say that how you develop, that this all comes through confidence in self, and developing that confidence is the trick. One of the things that we get to know, first of all, is you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be good at everything. Yeah? You can get confidence. Let's talk about cooking, for example. Who says you have to be a cordon bleu chef and know how to cook everything well? No, you don't. You don't. Let's talk about music. Let's say you sing. You love to sing. Who says you have to have a whole wide repertoire, assuming that you're not going to be Tina Turner, you're not going to be doing commercial singing? I give you two examples. Years ago, I went to a wedding, and this man I'd known all my life. I'd gone away to school, come back, and I met him at the wedding, and he sang Blueberry Hill. You know the old Chuck Berry song? I met my thrill on Blueberry Hill. I'm not really a good singer, but and he sang it beautifully. And I thought, I didn't know he could sing so well. And then they asked him to sing, and he sang it again. And I met him somewhere else, and he sang the same song. Turns out it was pretty much the only song that he sang, and sang well. But when he showed up for parties, he made everybody feel good by singing this song so very well. I have a sister friend, who is not a really very good cook, she says, but she cooks the best macaroni and cheese I have ever tasted. It's her signature dish. And she doesn't have to cook it every day, but people acknowledge and recognize her macaroni and cheese. I have another one who does rice and peas. So those of us who are Caribbean, you understand rice and peas, or peas and rice, whichever one you call it. And she does rice and peas like nobody else ever, and not much else. But she has confidence in her ability, and just the ability to do this better than anybody else, just to do one thing better than anybody else, is enough to build the confidence you need to be the warrior you need to be in the rest of your life. Because part of that is knowing that you can, that if you can do this one thing well, then it means you can do other things well. If you can be good at this, you can also be good at other things. And that is the ultimate confidence. When you have that, saying no is easy. Saying yes is easy, because you don't have to, when you say yes, you no longer have to be afraid that you're giving away your whole soul and you're going to be beholden forever. So if you do nothing else, learn to do a couple of things really well. Really well. One thing in this area, one thing in that area, and then build from there. I want to leave that with you. Build your confidence by learning, exercising your ability to learn, to do something well, and know from that you are capable of doing other things well. And knowing that you can do many things well gives you the confidence to say no when no is what needs to be said, and to say yes when yes will get you what you want or what you need without giving yourself away. And that, my sisters, is the ultimate power. Being able to say no and being able to say yes. Either way, without losing your soul. So that is some of the work that we do at the Women's Leadership Circle. That is the foundation of what we do at the Women's Leadership Circle. Find our power, find our strength, find the warrior in us, and use her for the good of the world, obviously, and for the good of ourselves. And know that when you're doing the good for yourself, when we are doing the good for ourselves, what are we doing? Contributing enormously to the world. You will know that when you do something really well, when you show up, one or both of two things happens. People acknowledge and recognize your capabilities, and they begin to treat you in a certain way. And even if that doesn't happen, even if you don't see that happen, other people, women and girls and men watching you, learn. They get to see that women can do this, girls can do that. And it shifts something, because when you know, you know. So when men and women and girls and other people around you get to know, when they see your power, they get to understand your power, and they get to understand and acknowledge the power of women. And that raises, lifts, elevates all of us, every single one of us, individually and in group. So come join us at the Women's Leadership Circle, and let's do this work together. Because the other thing about this is that when it's being done together, it's that much more powerful. The energy in a circle remains in the circle. It builds. It's like centrifugal force. It just builds and builds and builds. And as it circles, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then it moves things. Come join us at the circle. 2023 is coming up. Get ready. From now until the end of December, the membership is $30 a year. After that, it goes back to $50. But come join us and have fun. We do look good, feel good, do good, self-leadership, leading from inside, all kinds of wonderful things. Plus, we have the monthly. So log on, www.shirleyosborne.com, and come join us. I'll see you in circle. Take good care, all of you. And thank you.